with two parts in this video. One is going to be quick and simple, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. And then if you still struggle, watch the rest of the video. I should address anything you're struggling with. So, first things first is my animation. I know it's horrible, but I want the hand to be connected and him to throw that sword. So we connect that sword to the hand. There's my sword. I look for that hand. I left click, hold in, drag down, looking for the hand. There's my hand. Sword is connected. There. Great. I want him to throw the sword over there. To throw the sword. But as you can see, it's still connected. Okay. So now I highlight my whole section over here where I want the hand to be on. Where I want to. I'll highlight the whole section where I want the sword to be on the hand. Press Alt F. Now it's connected. Now I remove the cast iron sword. Remove. Parent. So it follows. Now it's stuck there, but now I want it to move. Okay, great. So from that point, I want the sword to go out. And then I want the sword to overshoot and then land on his back over there. Okay. So I want the sword to go out. There. I want the sword to come back there. I want it to overshoot completely. Twist. And at this point, I want it to land on his back, There. Then from there on, he continues to there. So I want that to be on his back. So, sword, want to be on his back. Joint, this joint, want it on spine 4. Drag it down to spine 4. There. Now it's connected over there. But now it's connected on all the spine 4s from there on there. So that's why I put my keyframes there. So even there, spine 4. So as you can see, where I throw it, let's go to put animation. So now it's connected to spine 4. I'm just going to put some animation on this sword. So it goes, lands on his back. And then I'm going to make that movement linear. There we go. So now it's on his back. So now to make sure that it stays on his back, you highlight the whole section on the back again, up on there, Alt F. Now it's fixed on there, because now if I move my character here, there, because it's still linked to the back, it's gonna mess him up there. You see, it's still gonna follow his back, so that's not what I want. So now, just going back quickly. So now I need to remove the sword yet again, so it's not linked at all. Unparent. There we go. So now, keyframes to the hand, keyframes to the back. Now here I can change my character. I can do anything that sword doesn't do anything. It just follows its trajectory like I said there. And then how do you add it into your project? Make sure you export both of these. I like to do it separately. File, export, export, export selected intervals, export selected objects, which is that, and you just exported the man alone, and then next you export the sword alone. I still like to select even the objects. Mesh mode, select that there before export file. Export, export. My interval has been selected and my object's been selected. Then I do just the sword, and then I do just my man. place in my project, make sure the origins or where they're placed is exactly the same, so it links together, and it'll look like this. Please keep watching the rest of the video. If you struggle, I will likely address whatever you're struggling with in the video. Thanks for watching. Bye. So today I'm just going to show you how to link objects to certain parts of your character's body. For example, sword to hand, shield, whatever it might be. I'm going to use a sword, for example. And then just how to export it into your project as well. I'm going to use Unreal 5, and then just to see how the two separate animations link up together. So I'm going to open my character, for example. So home, models. I'm going to use UE5 Mani. There it is. And I also want to use a sword. So I've got a mesh already. So what I do is I usually go File, Import, Import FBX, and as an object, Import, and I have it saved here. My cast iron sword, open. You have to make sure that it's on a different track. So with the new Cascadeur, it does that at least. So when I add this sword to my character, sword is way too big, so let's just make it smaller. We select this button here, go to mesh, click on the mesh, and the whole mesh is selected. Transform is 100. I'm gonna make it 1 and see what it looks like. Okay, it's too small. I'm gonna make it 10. There we go. That looks a lot better. Let's just see what it looks like next to the character. There. Let's make it 15. We should. Might be too big. Might be too big, but I'm gonna use that. So let's stay in mesh mode. Now what you do is you try and place the sword in where you want it in the hand, for example. So just to make my own life easier, I'm going to go in auto posing mode. Gonna select my hand. I'm gonna close this hand already. Like that. See what it looks like. Make it a bit smaller or tighter. And then I'm just actually gonna lift this hand up, just to make my own life easier. So there. Let's keep it like that. Okay, great. Then I'm going back into mesh mode. I take my sword. I'm pressing now E to rotate, W back into the movement mode, and I'm going to place it in the hand exactly where I want it. Okay. I want to take the sword and I want to attach it to that hand. So now I need to look for that hand joint. It should be an easy way to do it actually. Clicking on anything on the hand. So I chose the pinky on my right hand. So there's my right hand. So now I need to place the sword into my right hand. So now I go back into mesh mode. Oh no, not. Let's go back into mesh mode. Select there. There's my cast iron sword. Now I need to place it under that hand. So here's my hand, and I just drag and drop it in there. Let's try again. I should be just under that hand. Okay, this is actually a good place to start. So we're looking for this hand over here. So you'll see it's different than that hand I chose now. So the correct place to look under is under SKM Mani for this example, under root. And then you just follow your root down until you get to your hand. So let's place it in the correct spot with the hand. So you see that hand is not the right one. It's got to do with the auto posing there. So it's not that one. So I click on cast iron sword. I'm not going to do the mesh mode again. Left click, hold it in, scroll down, and I look for that hand I just selected. So here it is, that hand. And place it there. Now it's linked. So let's do a quick test. You see, that is linked. So I can now do whatever I want. It's linked into that hand. Okay, so I can now create a whole animation with this character. So I'm just going to do something completely terrible, but just to prove my point. So this character goes forward, and then it goes forward again. That's fine. And then we do that again. There we go. It's just something ridiculous just to show you it does track. And that's fine. So as you see, it completely tracks. I'm just going to put interpolation on there. Let's try that. So yeah, no, and that looks ridiculous. And then I want him to throw the sword. So I'll throw the sword. Over there. That's now throwing the sword. So let's see. Move, 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 and throw. A bit quicker, maybe. Nah, it's fine. Okay, so as you can see, sword is linked, no problem. It goes to my character. As you can see, so this is actually my sword. There's no keyframes on this whatsoever. So you'll be able to you'll be able to export this character, all the movements, but the sword will not be linked. If you want the sword to be linked to character or this animation, you'll have to export both the sword and the character together and then link them together in your scene. So for this example, as you can see, walks, and throws. He does that because the sword is linked to that hand. But now I want the sword to move out of his hand. Okay, so I want the sword to fly out. How do I do that? Okay, so let's try mesh mode again. Select the sword, press W and move it. Not happening. It's not moving. Why? Because I don't have a keyframe. Add a keyframe. Move my sword. What's going to happen now? We put our interpolation in there. As you can see, the sword does not exactly link to there. Okay. How do we fix that? Okay, so maybe if I then put a keyframe on these keyframes, will that work? And by keyframe, we just press F. Will that work? Let's put an animation track. That works perfect. That's not exactly what I want. It's just to show you it does follow nicely, and then the sword goes there. And let's move my character still. There. Moves there. And then I can move my character. Gonna do that. Get my keyframe. Auto-pose it. Auto-pose it. As you see, that sword moves when I auto-pose it. So as soon as I move my hand, look, it moves it with my hand there as well. That's not what I want, because I want the sword to fly, but I also want my character to stand in let's say a normal, just in a normal position. It's not what I want. Okay, so how do we fix that? Let's just go back. So I showed you this, and this was working. This is not the right way at all. As soon as I remove the sword, which I want to do from his hand, which I want to do is to create that out motion and back in, it's going to stuff up my my sword completely. So what I mean is, as you can see, this follows perfectly fine, no problem. That works exactly what I want, exactly how I want. I can bring that sword back as well. Let's try that. I'm going to bring that sword back into his hand. Put an animation on there. And we look at that. So, throws, comes back. No problem. So that works exactly as I expected. So while we're waiting for the throw, I'm just going to put it in F here. I'm going to let him move his hand down. And you see that messes up my sword completely. So as I make him move, that sword is still linked to the hand, and that's not what I want. So let me show you the correct way to do it. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Cast iron sword is linked to the hand. It follows this position the whole time. I want it to remain like that. I've now decided this is not my animation, or my animation is fixed, complete, it's correct. I just want the sword to stay in place, the correct spots. We highlight this whole section, yeah? Press Alt F. That puts in all the keyframes. So at exactly that keyframe for this whole movement, that is what I want the sword to be in that hand. Okay, so now I want the sword to go over there. And then I want it to come back. Okay. So at this point of time, let's say this point of time, I'm going to add another keyframe. From here, I do not want the sword to be part of that hand anymore. So I click on my customized sword, right click, and I say unparent selected. Now it's not part of my hand anymore. Now it can go there, and now I can drop this hand. Not parented anymore, so it doesn't move. I'm going to put in an animation as well, interpolation as well. There goes my sword, and then I want it to come back over there. If I want it to come back, I go mesh mode, select there. I've got my keyframe there. I'm just going to bring my sword back into that hand. There. And I put interpolation down there. And there we go. There goes. Drop my hand. Back in. Can put animation there as well. Just like that. So let's just show you how to link it correctly and then just make more intriguing animations using that. So another example would be that, okay, great. Now actually I want it to go back into that hand. I want it to go just on his back. So goes there, drops it down in his hand again. So I have not linked the sword back into any hand. Let's just do that. So you see it's there. So if I move now, there, I'm gonna move this down. Oops. You see it's not linked. So even though it still follows the same animation path, it's not linked. And I'm actually gonna leave it there. Trying to fix that. I'm gonna leave it there. And then I want the sword to fly over. There. So I want a keyframe, I want a sword to fly over like this. Maybe a bit higher. There. Another keyframe if. Move it there, and I want it to twist there, like that. And then I want to land on his back, for example. Now he's done using the sword. So now I'm going to put it on his back. There. Now it's on his back. Over there. Okay, so let's see what path it takes. There. So it goes there, there, and then on the back. Okay, great. And then I'm going to do it on the back there. And then my character starts walking off again. So yeah, just excuse, it's a horrible animation, but it's just to get my point across. So from here, I want the character to move forward to there. Okay. So there, and I want it to be connected on his back. Okay. So I'm just following the path there. So I want no connection there, no connection, no connection, and then from this frame, I want it to be connected. So let's do that exactly. First, I like to look at the joint. So which joint do I want it to be joined to? So I actually do this bone. This one over here, spine 4. Okay. And I want my cast iron sword to be connected to spine 4. Here's my cast iron sword. Left click. Drag down. So I'm looking for spine 4. There's spine 4. Oh, I'm auto posing again. No, did connect. Let's see. Yeah, did connect. There we go. So now, if I put on my interpolation again, there, and it's connected to my back now. So there was connected on my hand. not connected to my hand, not connected to my hand, back, and my character moves on. And I'm just I could put any interpolation down there. And if I do this linear, that shouldn't do that movement. There we go. So that's how to connect your character with. That's how to connect your weapon, shield, anything to your character in specific points. I would suggest you do this at the end of your animation. So I'll show you why. Here's the one I'm working on. So it's animation, a Mortal Kombat kind of animation. Oh, not kind. It is a Mortal Kombat animation. I've actually been doing this with his hat. So let's just open the whole animation. Here we go. So there's my two characters, Kung Lao and another lady. The hat I've put in there. And then here is what you can do by joining meshes to certain parts of the body. So in this case, there's my hat in my hand, it's connected. I have now added keyframes to the hat as well, so I can move this character however I want. It's going to follow the same path. That's why I suggest you do it at the end, so you know the animation is not going to change. So, connect to the hand, throws it up in the air. It's now gone, stays up in the air. You do your movement, and then here it comes down. That hat or a circle is not connected to anything, and then spins down, spins down, spins down, gets knocked away, and then lands back in his hand again. So it's something I'm still busy with. But yes, that should help you out going forward. And this is why I say you must connect. So yeah, this is why I say you must finish your animation first before you you should finish animations first before you are now you must finish animations first before you decide to add these keyframes to the hat or to the weapon, whatever it might be. Because should I now decide to move this hat, so let's say it's my object here, or to move this hand, my hat's going to stay in place. That keyframe there, you see. So my hat stays, it just still follows the same trajectory. Because this is no longer connected to my hand, or yeah, to my bone or to my joint. It's no longer. I've just now fixed its trajectory or its position on here. So finish up your animation first, and then you do these fancy stuff with the sword or the shields, whatever it might be. And then, for example, so this is exactly what I wanted to do. I'm happy. I select everything, Alt F, and then that's the trajectory it's going to follow. There, and then I'm going to remove my sword from my back. Right click unparent, and then if I make changes now to my character, you see the sword is unparented, but it's all going to follow the exact same fixed trajectory or movement, whatever the case might be. So let's actually put this in Unreal and see what that looks like. So that's been fixed, and I'm just gonna do this. Okay. So this should keep following the same path. I'm happy to leave my interpolation like that, or so to go file, export, and we want objects, both. This was the interval. Okay, export, and then let's try epilogue, new folder, test sword throw. all exported. Now let's see what it looks like over here. Book, let's see what does there. Go essentials. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, it doesn't look great. Let's go to visual asset. So let's see if I can see both tracks. Let's see this one actually. File, export, export. Animation objects, plane shape, and like I say, selected interval and selected objects, which is now the sword. Let's do this. Select that, that. File, export. That. That. I'm going to just say sword. Save. Okay. Let's bring that in. Say. I don't want it to do that. Import. Ah, this animation sequence. Okay, great. Okay. And then we go. I should be able to drag and drop this in there. So I actually do level sequence. Cinematics level sequence. And then I'm going to close that. Import that, animation throw. And then I'm also gonna put this in here, my sword. Control A, animation for the sword. There we go. And then I need to make sure that the origin is exactly the same for there. So it's on 0, 0, sword, details. So just to make it easy, I'm just going to put the origin to the same. Here's origin as well. There we go. So they all start at the same origin. And then here's the animation. So in this sequence, he chops, chops, throws, comes back, on back, and goes off doing his business. I hope it helps somebody. Yeah, I'll still finish this Mortal Kombat animation at some point. It actually, it's taking me longer than I expected. But yes, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.